to our YouTube channel, that is Study Materials. So let's continue with the series that we have started, that is the Indian Polity. So in this series, we are mainly going to discuss the six topics. The very first one is the preamble of the Constitution. Then the next one is the how does original preamble look. So I would be giving a glimpse of it, and the next topic would be preamble as the part of the Constitution. So is the preamble considered as the part of the constitution or not, and if it is considered, then whether it is considered from the day one when the constitution was enacted or later it became part of the constitution. So these all things we will be studying in this topic. So the next topic would be for the day is the amendment in the preamble. So can our preamble be amended, and if it is amended, so what are the different provisions within which it could be amended, and how many times it has been amended. So this we will be studying in the this topic. So the next topic that we are going to deal today is the part of the constitution, and the last one would be the schedules of the constitution. So yeah, there are few of the trick to remember these things, so that also I will be discussing in this. Okay, so now let's begin with the very first topic, that is the preamble of the Constitution. Now, what does the preamble of the Constitution mean? So, the preamble refers to the introduction or preface of the Constitution. It just gives us about idea, overall content or overall context of the Constitution. Now, the next point, the concept. This concept of preamble was taken from the America. Now, let's move to the next point, that when this term preamble was coined and when it was first used. So initially, in the it was used firstly by the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru as the objective resolution, which later on was considered as the preamble of the Constitution. So it was next point. It was adopted by the Constituent Assembly. Okay. Now let's move to the next topic or the next slide, the Constitution of India. So in this we will be looking, you can see that how the original preamble looks like and what are the things that is written on the preamble. Okay, so now let's see that how the our original preamble looks like. So this is the picture of the original preamble of India. So here the word that are engraved is that we, the people of India, here solemnly resolve to constitute India as a sovereign democratic republic and to secure all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political. So here you could see that what the three type of justice that prevail in the constitution. Those are social, economical, and the political. It also talk about the liberty. Liberty means the freedom. So freedom of word. Then it is written here the freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom of belief, faith, and worship. It just means that in India, you have the freedom of your thought expression. You can follow any religion, you can follow your own beliefs. So the Constitution of the India or the preamble of the India give us this freedom. Next is the equality. So equality of status and the opportunity to promote among them all. So this is also given written in the preamble of the constitution. Next is the fraternity. Fraternity assures the dignity of the individual and the unity of the nation. So now in our constitution assembly, this 26th day of November 1949 do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this constitution. So as I have told you in the previous lesson also that our preamble or our the constitution was completed on the 26th November 1949. So this date has been mentioned here, that on the 26th day of November 1946 the Constitution of India has been completed. And now let's move to the next topic. The next topic here on the desk is that is the preamble a part of constitution. So there has been a debate since the constitution has been framed, that is the preamble just the preface of the constitution, or it the part of the constitution. So initially, in the 1960, there was a case that is known as Beruveri Union case. In this case, the Supreme Court has said that the preamble is just it serves the basic purpose of the Constitution. So here, the judgment that the Supreme court gave is that it is not the part of the constitution. But in the Kesavnanda Bharati case that was in 1973, Supreme Court rejected the earlier opinion. So what was the earlier opinion? That preamble is not considered as the part of the constitution. So this was rejected and held that the preamble is the part of the constitution. So it was the first time in 1973 that the Supreme Court of India has said or given the judgment that the preamble is a part of the constitution. And again in the LIC of India case 1995, the Supreme Court once again stated that preamble is the integral part of the constitution. Okay, so that's all for this topic. Let's move to the next topic, that can the preamble be amended? So yes, the answer is yes. Yes, it could be amended. In the Constitution of India, there has been provision that anything that is written in the Constitution, it can be amended. And in the 1973 Kesavananda Bharati case, the Supreme Court of India had accepted that preamble is a part of the constitution, and if it is a part of the constitution, then it can be amended. Now the next question that arises is that whether the preamble has been amended in the history. Then yes, the preamble has been amended only once so far, and that was in the 1972 by the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act. So you have, this is very important, this 42nd Constitution Amendment Act is also known as the mini constitution. So, in this amendment, three new words were added in the preamble. Those are socialist, secular, and integrity. So, these three words were added in the preamble. So now let's move to the next topic, that the part of the constitution. So Indian constitution contains 395 articles, and it is divided into 12 parts. Now, so what are the different parts? So here you can see I have listed down the parts. So the part 2 1 tells us about the union and its territory, and the part 2 tells us about the citizenship. The part 3 refers to the fundamental right. So this likewise I have listed down all the 12 part. You just need to memorize it because it is very important, and it is very much frequently asked in the examination. And the very most of important is then part 9 that deals with the panchayats, and 9A that deals with the municipalities. So these two are extremely important, as it is quite often it could be seen in the different examinations. So okay, so you can see that in the last two line I have given you the trick to remember this part of the constitution. In the word that is the two line that is mentioned, the each word would represent a part of the constitution. For example, the English alphabet U represent the union and its territory. The in the can, the first letter that is C represents the citizenship, that is the second part of the constitution. And similarly for the fly, you take the first alphabet that is F, it represents the fundamental rights. Likewise, you can remember the tricks for all this part of constitution. So in this case I have given you the trick because it is very much of important, and it is quite often asked in the examination. So you have to remember these all the 12 parts. Now let's move to the next topic, that is the schedules of the constitution. So schedule are the list of the constitution which categorizes and tabulate bureaucratic activity and government policy. Originally when the constitution was framed there were 8 schedules, but now presently there are 12 schedules. So what are those 12 schedules? It is also asked in the examination. So all the part and the schedule you have to memorize it by heart because it is asked in the examination. So here I have listed down all the schedule and what are the subject that comes under this schedule. For example, in the first schedule, the name of the state and union territories and their territorial jurisdiction comes. For the second state, the subject it is subjected to pay and allowance of the president, governor, speaker of Lok Sabha and legislative assembly, judge of Supreme Court and High Court. In the third schedule, it is subjected to form of oaths or affirmation for union ministers, state ministers, CAG, MPs, MLA, Supreme Court, and High Court judge. For the fourth schedule, it is subjected to allocation of seat in Rajya Sabha. For the fifth schedule, it is subjected to administration and control of scheduled areas. In the sixth schedule, it is subjected to administration and control of tribal areas in state of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. In the seventh schedule, it is subjected to the division of power between state and union. In the union list, there are 100 subjects. In the state list, there are 61 subjects, and in the concurrent list, there are 52 subjects. Already, I have told you about this subject. So, union list are those lists which are handled by the central government, and state list are those lists which are handled by the state government. In the concurrent list, both of the things that both the issues are handled by both the government, that is the central as well as the state. Now, let's move to the next schedule, that is the eighth schedule. In the eighth schedule, it is subjected to the 22 languages. These are considered as the national language, not national language, it's the official language. So there is you have must remember, there is no national language, there is just the official language, and there are 22 official languages, and it is subjected as per the eighth schedule of the constitution. Now, the ninth schedule is subjected to land reform acts, and the tenth schedule is subjected to anti-defection law. So these things I would be discussing this for these two topic. I would be delivering a separate lecture, as it is very much important and is frequently asked in the examination. For the 11th schedule, it is subjected to power and authority and responsibility of panchayat, and in the 12th schedule, the power, authority, and responsibility of municipalities are tackled with. So this is all in this lesson. So if you liked our video, please do like it, share with your friend, and subscribe the channel. And if you have any doubt regarding any of the topic, so please write it down in the comment section. Thank you.